All right, we are back with a new video, and yeah, I decided to pick this up again, doing the Brantsteele series. And as you can see here, we'll be doing the Brantsteele for Survivor All Stars today. And I know it's been a bit of a while since I've done this series. I know it's been very crazy couple weeks on the channel with just uploading video after video, and again, I don't exactly intend to make it a regular thing to be uploading like 4 or 5 videos in a week. It's just with the schedule coming out and like see stuff like Celebrity Big Brother and Amazing Race all wrapping up around the same time, and the fact that there's still like a ton of shows going on. So it's just been a crazy time for the channel. Like literally doing nothing but power rankings lately and just stuff to wrap up the series I've been covering. And I decided, you know what? It's been a while since I've done the brand steel. I should probably pick it up again, like or at least do one of them. Now, again, I don't know when I'm going to be getting back to doing it weekly. I mean, I wanted to wait until, like a lot of the shows have slowed down a bit. But I feel like now, like, especially since it's been over a month since I've last done one of these, it's probably best if I do this now. Now, and the other interesting thing is the fact that I am recording this on March 9th, the same day as the Survivor 42 premiere. In fact, the we are about 6 hours away from Survivor 42 coming out, which should be pretty exciting. And of course, I'm going to be doing a video about that on Friday, probably. Now, in terms of scheduling this, I don't know when exactly I'm going to be releasing this. Like I just mentioned, I'm making this on March 9th, like Wednesday, and I'm debating whether to have it coming out tomorrow or on next Tuesday. As if I release it tomorrow, then I'm essentially going to be releasing videos 6 days in a row, more or less. And I don't know if that's good or not that I'm doing that. On the other hand, if I release it on Tuesday, then I'll basically just be another week in a row of doing 4 videos. And I'm hoping to get it down to 3 videos, maybe slow things down a bit before Australian Survivor ends. At that point, like, who knows? So I haven't made up my mind yet, but anyway, I am rambling on and on. But so here we go. We have Survivor All Stars. Now I decided to go with the original cast of Survivor All Stars. I'm sure I could probably whip together a cast of people who probably could have made the All Stars cast if we had gone with the Brand Steel versions that I've been doing here. But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna do the original All Star cast to make things simple. As you can see here, we have the cast as usual. And yep, I have my settings on. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So, episode 1, we are at Chapera. No alliances. Tom and Amber feel a slight mutual bond towards each other. Sue and Alicia don't really like each other. Sue and Rob Sesternino don't like each other. Rob Sesternino and Amber don't like each other. That's not good. Boston Rob and Amber don't like each other, so it looks like they're getting out to a bit of a bumpy start. Tom likes Alicia, and Boston Rob and Alicia don't like each Alicia. So it doesn't seem like a good start for the two Robs. Going over to Mogo Mogo, there are no alliances there. Richard feels a slight bond towards Kathy. Rich doesn't really like Jenna, doesn't like the fact that there's all these winners on his tribe. Lex and Jenna Maraska don't like each other. Sheehan and Lex don't like each other. Sheehan and Richard don't like each other. Sheehan and Jenna like each other a bit. Lex and Colby don't like each other. That's interesting. And Sheehan and Kathy don't like each other, which kind of makes sense, I think. Going over to Saboga, no alliances. Jerry doesn't like Jenna Lewis. Jenna Lewis doesn't like Jerry, makes sense. Rupert and Rudy like each other, which makes sense. Rupert and Ethan don't like each other. That's interesting. Tina and Jenna Lewis don't like each other. Makes sense. I mean, Jenna Lewis wants to vote out all the winners. And Tina and Rupert don't like each other. So that's interesting. Let's get to our first immunity challenge where, as you can see, Chapera and Saboga win immunity, meaning that Mogo Mogo will be going to tribal. So that'll be interesting. Going over to Chapera, we see Amber and Rob Cesternino bonding slightly. Interesting. I wonder if that'll lead to anything. And we have Sue impressing the rest of the team. Okay. We have Colby on Mogo Mogo impressing the rest of his team, probably thinking he needs to prove himself before the vote. In terms of the votes, we have Lex targeting Kathy, Kathy targeting Jenna Maraska, and it seems like that's it. Like it's just going to be either Kathy or Jenna Maraska. And then over at Saboga, Tina is impressing the rest of the team. However, along the way, her and Rupert have a slight disagreement. They're probably disagreeing about work around camp, if I had to guess. But with that, we get to our first tribal. And this could be interesting. I mean, I would assume Jenna Maraska goes home just for being a winner, but who knows? So we're gonna count the votes, and first vote is for Kathy. Kathy, 2 votes. Kathy. Kathy, 3 votes. Kathy. Are we gonna get a tie? Jenna, 3-1. And the first person voted out of Survivor All Stars is Kathy Vavrick O'Brien. That's interesting. It's a pretty unanimous vote here. Sort of interesting we didn't get more information from this vote before it happened, but yeah, it just seemed like Kathy didn't really do much. She couldn't really find her footing, and she's a clear early boot there. And with that, we get to our next episode. So there are still no alliances on Chapera. Sue and Amber like each other quite a bit. We have Tom and Sue liking each other quite a bit. We have Rob Sesternino and Amber like each other a little bit. We have Tom and Boston Rob not liking each other. We have Boston Rob and Amber not liking each other. We have Amber liking Alicia. We have Tom and Amber liking each other. We have Sue and Alicia not liking each other. We have Sue and Rob Sesternino not liking each other. And we have Rob Sesternino and Alicia liking each other a bit. Over on Mogo Mogo, still no alliances there, but we see Rich and Colby like each other a bit. We have Lex and Jenna Maraska not liking each other. All right. Jeanne doesn't like Rich. Jenna Maraska and Colby don't like each other. We have Rich and Jenna Maraska not liking each other. We have Cheyenne and Lex not liking each other. Man, a lot of people don't like each other in this tribe. Rich and Lex don't like each other. Rich doesn't like Cian. But Cheyenne likes Jenna Maraska. That's something. And Colby doesn't like Rich. So a lot of people just don't like each other on this tribe. And then over in Saboga, there are no alliances. Tina feels a small bond towards Rupert. It looks like things are changing a little bit. Although I think wasn't it Rupert? Well, Rupert was the one that didn't like Tina, but it looks like that's changing a little bit. As you can see, Jerry and Jenna Lewis don't like each other. We have Tina and Jenna Lewis liking each other a bit. We have Jerry and Ethan liking each other a bit. That's interesting. We have Rupert and Jenna Lewis not liking each other. That's also pretty interesting. Rupert and Rudy like each other. That makes sense. Rudy and Ethan like each other. Makes sense. I mean, I can see Rudy seeing Ethan as a hardworking, humble young buck. Rupert and Ethan don't like each other, and Rudy and Jenna Lewis don't like each other a bit. So there's that. And we get to our reward challenge. Okay, and then Mogo Mogo wins the reward. They win tarts and blankets. If they give away their blankets, they get Flint, Pot, and Clue to the first 3 keys to the rice box. They exchange the blankets, and all 3 tribes get a clue to the first of 3 keys to their rice box. Okay. And then immunity, we have Mogo Mogo and Chapera winning immunity, meaning Soboga will go to tribal council. Over on Chapera, we have our first alliance consisting of Amber, Rob Sesternino, and Sue Hawk. Rob, Boston Rob is injured, but he gets treated and can stay in the game. Okay, there's that. Nothing happens on Mogo Mogo. Okay. And then over in Saboga, I mean, not too much is happening. I mean, Jerry's targeting Jenna Lewis, Tina's targeting Jerry. And again, we don't really see much else. I mean, we see Jerry and Jenna becoming the targets there. I mean, if I had to assume Jenna could be the boot here, but I have no idea really. But let's just get right into tribal. As you can see, the 6 people are there. Votes are cast. Time to read the votes. And as you can see, the first vote is for Jenna, or Jerry, I should say. Jerry, 2 votes Jerry. Jenna, 2 votes Jerry, 1 vote Jenna. You're tied, 2 votes Jerry, 2 votes Jenna. Jenna, that's 3 votes Jenna, 2 votes Jerry, 1 vote left. And with that, we are going to a tie at our second tribal. Okay, so there's going to be a revote. First vote is for Jerry. Next vote is also for Jerry. And the second person voted out of Survivor All Stars is Jerry. Okay, so it looks like it was a pretty clear cut vote. I mean, who flipped? So as you can see here, Ethan initially voted for Jenna, but switched his vote to Jerry, fearing a rock draw. And Rudy also flipped his vote from Jenna to Jerry. So it looks like Rudy and Ethan are losing out here. They seem to be on the outs at this point for wanting to keep around Jerry. And with that, we get to episode 3. Over on Chapera, we still have our 3 strong group of Amber, Rob Cesternino, and Sue. Sue and Amber feel a strong mutual bond towards one another. Tom and Sue like each other a bit, makes sense. They seem to be cut from the same cloth. Rob Cesternino and Amber like each other a bit. Boston Rob and Amber, though, don't like each other. There seems to be some tension in this alternate universe. We have Tom and Amber liking each other a bit. We have Tom and Boston Rob not liking each other. We have Sue and Alicia not really liking each other. All right. Sue and Rob Cesternino don't like each other. Rob Cesternino and Alicia feel a slight bond towards one another. Okay. Sue and Boston Rob like each other a bit. Okay. And then over at Mogo Mogo, there's still no alliances. Rich doesn't like Colby. Wait. Didn't they like each other in the last episode? Am I remembering that wrong? I don't know. Jan and Richard don't like each other. Okay. Lex and Jenna don't like each other. Colby doesn't like Rich. Rich and Jenna don't like each other. Again, the 2 winners here. All right. Jenna and Colby don't like each other. Shan and Jenna like each other. Okay, I can see that. Shan and Lex don't like each other. Shan and Colby don't like each other. Lex and Colby don't like each other. Again, the Mogo Mogo just seems to be the hate tribe, the tribe where no one likes each other. And over at Saboga, as you can see, Tina and Rupert like each other now. Tina and Jenna Lewis like each other a bit. Ethan likes Rudy. Rupert and Rudy like each other a bit. Rupert and Jenna Lewis don't like each other. Rudy feels a slight bond towards Ethan. Tina and Ethan don't like each other. Rupert and Ethan don't like each other. Tina and Rudy don't like each other. And Rudy and Jenna Lewis do like each other. Okay. We now get to our reward challenge where Mogo Mogo wins reward again. They win a crate containing tarps, blankets, and wine to be dropped from a plane. They win the second of 3 clues. Shapira also wins the reward. They get a clue as well. All right. So it seems like Saboga is something. All right. So with that, we now get to our immunity challenge, where the winner is Shapira and Mogo Mogo. So sort of turning into the real life scenario a bit, where Saboga is now starting to lose all the immunity challenges and kind of losing their reward challenges too. So they're kind of being forced to cut another member. Over in Chapera, Boss and Rob and Tom have a major fight which has a lasting impact. I wonder if it happened kind of similarly to what happened in the final five. Like, that's just sort of the image I have in my head. Mind you, Amber was around for that, and she was on Boston Rob's side. But it seems like now Boston Rob just seems to not really be learning from his mistakes from his first time. He just seems to be someone who is just being a bull in a china shop here. But they're immune, so not much they can do about that. Mogo Mogo, Jenna Maraska has a major meltdown. Now, I wonder if that has anything to do with her mom being sick. I don't know if that's still true in this timeline or not. I mean, this was the episode, I believe, where she quit the game in All Stars. So maybe she's thinking about that, but doesn't quite quit the game here. Over at Saboga, Jenna Lewis works hard at camp and becomes tired. In terms of targets, Ethan is targeting Rupert. Ethan has a slightly negative opinion of Rupert. Rupert is targeting Ethan almost in response. Rudy is targeting Jenna Lewis. Jenna Lewis is targeting Tina. So we're kind of all over the place here. But it seems like either Rupert or Ethan will be going home here. This should be interesting. So, like I said, we're going to be going to travel here. Um, I don't know. I assume Rupert is the target here. I mean, he seems like he's less likely to be on board with things. Like, I'm just thinking, like, I think Rudy, like, with being on Ethan's side, like, and Jenna not really being on Rupert's side, I could see Rupert going home here. But let's read the votes. So, first vote, as you can see, is for Ethan. Rupert, so that's one vote each. Rupert, that's 2-1. Ethan, that's 2-2. One vote left. And the third person voted out of Survivor All Stars is Ethan. Interesting. So let's see where these votes went. I guess I sort of misread the situation here. So, okay, so, oh, interesting. So Ethan and Jenna voted for Rupert, while Rudy voted for Ethan. Wait, I'm kind of getting confused already because I thought, wasn't Rudy and Ethan close to each other? That's sort of weird. Huh. I guess Rupert changed his mind somehow? I don't know. I don't know. So with that, we are now moving into the next episode now. And with that, we are getting into some spicy situations. So over on Japera, we still have our alliance. And as you can see now, Tom and Boston Rob have a major hatred towards each other, which makes sense considering the fight that they had. Um, we see Sue and Amber really liking each other now. So there's that. Tom and Sue have a bond towards each other. Boston Rob and Amber don't like each other. Rob Cesternino and Amber, however, do like each other. Sue and Alicia don't really like each other. Tom and Amber have a small bond towards each other. Rob Cesternino and Alicia feel a slight bond. Tom and Alicia like have a slight bond, and Tom and Rob Cesternino have a slight bond. So it seems like, despite this fight, that Tom seems to be coming out on top. It seems like more people like Tom than they like Boston Rob, which doesn't bode well for Boston Rob if he has to go to tribal, but we'll see there. Um, Over on Mogo Mogo, Rich doesn't like Colby. Again, this is sort of the hate tribe. Jenna and Colby don't like each other. Colby doesn't like Richard. Rich and Jenna don't like each other. Lex and Jenna don't like each other. Shan and Rich don't like each other. Shan and Colby don't like each other. Shan and Lex don't like each other. And okay, so Lex and Colby do like each other, and so does Shan and Jenna, but most people don't like each other here. Over on Saboga, we see Tina and Rupert sort of bonding a bit. I can see that happening. I mean, that's sort of interesting. Tina and Jenna Lewis like each other, which is interesting considering Jenna voted out Tina, the actual All Stars. But Rupert and Jenna still don't like each other, so that's something. Rupert and Rudy seem to be getting closer together. Jenna Lewis likes Rudy a bit. Rudy doesn't like Jenna Lewis. And Tina and Rudy don't like each other either. We now get to our reward challenge. Um, or is it? I'm just thinking, like, when is the episode where there's an absorption? Is probably the next episode, I would assume. But we see Saboga and Chapera winning this. And at this point, Chapera has all three of their clues to their rice box, so that's something. And Saboga has two clues. Moving on to the immunity challenge, I mean. As you can see, Mogo Mogo and Saboga win immunity, meaning that Chapera will finally have to go to tribal and vote someone out, which doesn't look good for Boss and Rob at the moment, but we'll see what happens. Over in Chapera, Alicia and Tom have a major fight, which isn't good. But through that, we have a new alliance form of Alicia, Amber, Rob, Sue, and Tom. So, despite the fact that they just had a fight, they were fine being included in this alliance. So, that's something. But it seems like Amber and Rob Sesternino are in the center of this grouping, which makes sense. In terms of targets, we see Tom targeting Boston Rob targeting Amber. Okay. Group targets. The Amber, Rob Sessionino, Sue contingent is targeting Boss and Rob, which makes sense. And the broader alliance of Alicia and Tom are also targeting Boss and Rob. Not looking good for Boss and Rob. I mean, he'll probably go home here. Over on Mogo Mogo, Colby and Jenna Maraska have a minor disagreement, and it has a lasting impact. Over in Saboga, Tina rests at camp to restore her energy. Meanwhile, Rudy is injured, but gets treated so he can stay in the game. I don't think anyone's been medevaced actually, but it's sort of weird how we already have two people getting injured in this game. So that's something. And now we get to tribal, where again I'm fully expecting Boston Rob to be voted out here. But let's see. So first vote is for Boston Rob. Next vote is for Big Tom. All right. Boston Rob. Boston Rob. And the fourth person voted out of Survivor All Stars is Boston Rob. And he was voted out unanimously. Okay. So you can see here that was a pretty clear vote there. All right. And now I think this is the episode now where I think this is the episode where there is an absorption. So we'll see what happens there. So the alliance. So we have our alliances now of Amber, Rob Sesternino, and Sue Hawk. We have our bigger alliance there. And we have our usual relationships at this point. There is some animosity here, but for the most part, seems like this grouping is on the same page. My guess is they probably just came together to vet out Boss and Rob. Like, it's sort of hard to see how this alliance sticks together. Over on Mogo Mogo, we have Jenna and Colby not liking each other. Again, it's just more of the hate tribe. No one really likes each other all that much. And Saboga, you know, it's sort of fine for the most part. I mean, nothing too crazy there. Yes, and now we get to the reward challenge where Mogo Mogo wins reward. They get their third clue. Saboga comes in second. They win also their third clue. But the losing tribe, Chapera, will be dissolved, which is interesting considering I think they won most of the challenges, and yet they're the ones that lose this one. So that's kind of interesting. And with that, we are basically getting a tribe swap now. So there's that. So looking at the situation here, as you can see, Mogo Mogo will be getting Amber and Tom, while Saboga gets Alicia, Sue, and Rob Sessionino. And as you can see here, we have our new tribe, which it's probably a bad deal for Amber. I mean, she is being separated from this core of Rob Sessionino and Sue. I mean, why am I even calling him Rob Sessionino? I'm just going to call him Rob. Yeah, but he's being separated. She is being separated from Rob and Sue, her closest allies, being stuck with Tom, who I don't think she's super close to, but we'll see what happens. But on the other hand, she does have Colby there from Australian Outback. I don't know how much previous season relationships factor into this Brantsteele, but whatever. And over in Saboga, it's fine, I guess. But let's get to the immunity challenge where a Mogo Mogo will win immunity. Good on them. And nothing happens. They don't even get to know each other a bit. They just do nothing all day. Okay. Over on Saboga, we see Alicia and Jenna Lewis having a minor disagreement. They're not getting along well in their two tribes. Rupert and Tina bond slightly. And through that, we finally have our first alliance of Jenna, Rudy, Rupert, and Tina. As you can see, Jenna Lewis works hard at camp and gets so tired that she even injures herself, but again gets treated and can stay on the game. This is now the third time this season that this has happened. I'm surprised no one's been medevaced yet. In terms of targets, Sue is targeting Jenna Lewis. Jenna is targeting Sue. Rupert's targeting Alicia. Rob and Sue are targeting Jenna. Um, Alicia, Rob, and Sue are targeting Jenna. And we see basically all of the original Sabogas going after Sue here. It seems like it's going to be a tribal lines fight. I mean, it's not looking good for the original Shaperas, but we'll see what happens. And with that, we get to our first tribal council. And I'm assuming this is going to be a tribal line vote. I mean, while Alicia isn't as close to Rob and Sue as the others, she does seem loyal enough to where they're willing to vote. And it seems like the Sabogas are going to vote together as well. So let's see what happens. So first vote is for Jenna, Sue, one vote each. Jenna, two votes to one. Sue, 2-2. Jenna, 3-2. 2-3-3. One vote left. And the fifth person voted out of Survivor All Stars is Sue. So that's not too surprising. Like I said, I'm assuming this was along tribal lines. And yeah, pretty much. I mean, they pretty much just voted along tribal lines. So that's not great. So it looks like Sue kind of got swap screwed here, but that's just the game. Let's just see some of these dynamics now. So we see on the new Mogo Mogo, we have Amber kind of by herself. I mean, she has Tom, but whatever. Lex and Jenna Maraska, don't like each other. Jenna Maraska and Colby don't like each other. Cheyenne and Colby don't like each other. Tom and Amber like each other a bit. Cheyenne and Jenna Maraska don't like each other. Tom and Rich like each other a bit. Okay. Jenna Maraska and Amber like each other a bit. Tom and Lex like each other a bit. Okay. Doesn't like Amber, which is interesting. And then Tom and Cian like each other. So it seems like people like each other a bit more now. I'm not sure what's going on there. Especially with how the original Mogo Mogo was like, but whatever. As you can see, it's sort of Alicia and Rob on an island now with this Soboga alliance holding strong, especially with Tina and Rupert. Rupert seems to be in a pretty good position right now, if you ask me, but, Jenna doesn't like him, but whatever. Tina and Jenna like each other a bit. Okay. Actually, maybe Tina is probably in the best position right now. So that's something. Rob likes Jenna a bit. Okay. Rudy and Alicia don't like each other. So, okay. It would be kind of boring if this was just like along tribal lines here, this post swap. Soboga wins reward. They win shish kebab and other items in the basket. Okay. Oh crap! I already forgot about the shelter building challenge. That probably already happened, but whatever. Immunity challenge. As you can see, that Mogo Mogo wins immunity again, meaning that Alicia and Rob are essentially in survival mode at this point. Over at Mogo Mogo, there's a lot of animosity, however. Rich has a meltdown, Lex and Cheyenne have a small fight, and Alicia leaves the Alliance. Okay. Wait, wasn't she on the other tribe? I don't know. Over on Saboga, yeah, that was sort of weird. Rob Sessionino and Rupert bond slightly. Okay. Well, in terms of targets, we see Alicia targeting Rupert. Rupert's targeting Alicia. Tina's targeting Rob Sessionino. Rob Sessionino's targeting Tina. Okay. But the group is targeting Rob. Okay, so it looks like Rob's probably going to go home here. And then, again, it looks like it's going to be another tribal line vote here. But let's just see what happens. So Rob, Alicia. Okay. Rob. And then the sixth person voted out of Survivor All Stars is Rob. How sad. Oh, wait. No, it was a unanimous vote. So Rob tried to vote for Alicia, probably out of self-preservation, but it just wasn't going to work. Now Alicia's sort of all alone. She's sort of on an island. And man, did this swap really screw over Rob and Sue here. They were really doing well before that challenge. Uh but okay. Episode 7 now. Okay. Over at Mogo Mogo, we have Amber and Tom in a group there. Colby's really starting not to like Rich. Okay, Rich and Jenna don't like each other. Jenna and Colby don't like each other. We have Lex and Jenna again. So it seems like it's sort of reverting now to people not liking each other, which is something, I guess. Like Shannon and Colby not liking each other. Man, a lot. And now it's even spread to like Rich not liking Amber that much and not liking Lex. Okay. Over on Saboga, we still have this alliance. It's just sort of boring right now. I mean, if they lose, they'll just vote out Alicia. Okay. In terms of the immunity challenge, we see Mogo Mogo winning immunity once again. This is the immunity and reward in which they go on the yacht and they can kidnap someone from the losing team. And they kidnap Jenna Lewis for some reason. I feel like this was a bit of a missed opportunity. I feel like they could have really shaken things up by kidnapping Alicia, like especially Amber and Colby. Like if they really cared about like having like previous seasons alliances together, like makes sense for Amber and Colby to try to get Alicia over there. But who cares? So whatever. Mogo Mogo, Jenna, and Tom have a minor disagreement, probably over the barbecue. Like maybe Jenna took the last porterhouse or something, or whatever type of steak that Tom is into. Um, Jenna Lewis and Tom bond strongly. Okay, that's a bit of a dichotomy. And then Lex rests a can to restore his energy. Okay, even though he just went on a yacht and ate a bunch of food, but whatever. Over in Saboga, yeah, it's pretty boring. They're not even bothering to show the relationships here. Alicia's probably gonna go home. This is all very boring. So Rudy, Alicia. Okay. So all right, that was kind of anticlimactic, but whatever. And with that, we are getting to okay. I mean, not much is really happening. I mean, again, most of the intrigue right now is on Mogo Mogo. I mean, just a lot of people don't like each other, and I feel like it's really going to bubble over. But we do see that Tom and Lex do like each other, so sort of remembering that they were on Africa together. And Lex also likes Colby, so okay, so Lex is sort of building something. He's not just hating his time out there. Over in Saboga, this could be interesting. I mean, especially now that all these original Sabogas have to turn on each other again, sort of feels like a weird post merge situation after a pagonging, but okay. But going into this vote, we see Rupert and Tina really liking each other. Rupert and Jenna really hate each other though. And I feel like that's gonna be the main fault line here. I mean, I assumed Jenna would go home if she went the tribal here. Like as it seems like the groupings are more in Rupert's favor than Jenna's favor. They win the reward challenge, so this is a log rolling competition. They get to steal 3 items from the losing tribe's camp, and they win immunity as well. So they're able to hold things off. They're able to all stick together. So probably good for Jenna at least. Although there was probably a chance you could have flipped, but whatever. Mogo Mogo. Amber and Colby have a minor disagreement. Colby and Richard then have a major fight. Okay, so not a great day for Colby. We have an alliance form, a cross tribal alliance between Lex and Big Tom. Okay. In terms of targets, we see Colby targeting Jenna Maraska. We have Richard targeting Colby. Jenna is targeting Richard Hatch. We have Sheehan targeting Lex. So it seems like the vote's kind of all over the place. I mean, we have the Amber and Tom alliance targeting Rich, and we have the Lex and Tom alliance targeting Sheehan. So this vote's really all over the place. But we can see here that the targets are between Sheehan and Rich. Over on Saboga, we see Jenna Lewis and Rupert kind of bonding over the fact that they want immunity. They used to hate each other, and now it seems like be there could be something there. But Jenna still leads the alliance, so there's that. So she's probably still in the outs. And with that, we now get to our tribal, where I'm not entirely sure where this vote is gonna go. I mean, I could see Sheehan being voted out, if I'm being honest, but we'll see. So let's get to the votes. So first vote is for Rich. Sheehan, 1 vote each. Sheehan, 2-1. Sheehan, 3-1. Rich, 3-2. Rich, 3-3. 1 vote left. And the eighth person voted out of Survivor All Stars is Richard Hatch. And is he the first winner to be voted out? I believe so, because, yeah, because, no, no, no. All right, Ethan. But okay, so the winners are doing slightly better here with Jenna Maraska still being in the game and Tina, so that's something. Well, let's look at these votes here so we can see here that Amber, Colby, Jenna, and Chien all voted for Rich, while Lex, Rich, and Big Tom voted for Sheehan. So probably not the best spot for Lex and Tom to be in. And now we are entering episode 9, where we have the twist being another tride swap. Yep, new tribes are randomly assigned. And through this, we get our new tribe. So on the new Mogo Mogo, we have Amber, Jenna Maraska, Lex, Rudy, and Big Tom. And on the new Saboga, we have Colby, Jenna Lewis, Rupert, Sheehan, and Tina. And this could be interesting. I mean, right off the bat, I mean, we have Lex and Tom still being together. That's something. Rudy's kind of on an island though, so probably not in the best spot there. So Boga, I assume Colby's separated. Well, there's still Sheehan, but Colby is separated from people that didn't exactly like him. But like there could be some opportunities there. And then Rupert and Tina are still together, but we still have Jenna Lewis. That could be interesting. So we have these groups here. We have Tom and Lex liking each other. We have Tom and Amber liking each other. We have Tom and Jenna not liking each other. We have Lex and Jenna not liking each other. We have Rudy, and Amber liking each other a bit. We have Lex and Amber liking each other. We have Jenna Maraska and Amber not liking each other. We have Rudy and Lex not liking each other. And on the new Saboga, we have obviously Tina and Rupert being the power duo here. We have Sheehan and Colby really not liking each other, so probably not the best swap for Colby. Tina and Jenna liking each other. We have Rupert and Jenna still not liking each other despite the fact that they bonded. So again, probably wasn't too effective. You have Colby not liking Tina now. Like he probably feels that Tina's ungrateful for the grand sacrifice that he made in the Australian outback. I could have brought Keith to the end and won that money for myself, but instead you took it from me. I want to be the honorable person, and now I want to be cutthroat. Okay. Shan and Jenna like each other, which is interesting. Jenna Lewis and Colby like each other, and then Tina doesn't like Colby. All right. Immunity challenge. So Boga wins immunity, so Colby probably is going to make the merge here. And this should be interesting on the Mogo Mogo side. So Rudy works hard at camp, probably thinking he's the one on the outs and becomes tired. In terms of targets now, we see Jenna Maraska targeting Tom. We have Lex targeting Rudy. We have Tom targeting Jenna Maraska. We have Amber targeting Lex. So right away, we have both sort of going all over the place. We have Amber and Tom both going after Jenna. We have Lex and Tom going after Rudy. So it seems like Tom's allies aren't really on the same page. Like maybe he should consider consolidating at some point just to clear things up. But we see the targets here are between Amber, Jenna, and Rudy. And with no. We gotta get to Saboga first. So not too much. I mean, Colby's impressing the rest of the team. But then Jenna has a major meltdown, so that's something. But we now get the tribal, which I don't know, could go either way. We'll see what happens. So, with that, we get to the votes. And we see the first vote is for Amber. So there's that. Jenna, 1 vote each. Rudy, 1 to 1 to 1. Rudy, that's 2 to 1 to 1. So we're either going to get a tie or Rudy's going to go home. And with that, we have Amber. So we now have a 2 to 1 tie between Amber and Rudy. And with that, there's going to be a revote. So first vote is for Amber, as you can see. Second vote is for Rudy. And the ninth person voted out of Survivor All Stars is Rudy, which isn't too surprising at the end of the day. I mean, he was sort of an outlier on the new tribe here. And if we look at the votes, I mean, Amber voted for Jenna, Jenna voted for Amber. Lex so Jenna and Rudy voted for Amber. Lex and Tom voted for Rudy. And yeah. So it doesn't say who flipped on the revote. I mean, I'm guessing that Jenna or I'm getting confused. So I'm guessing like the revote was pretty straightforward here. So yeah. Well, with that, we now get to the merge. So not too much exciting happens here. We have our usual shtick here. You know, these will probably matter more on the actual vote, but whatever. We get a pointless reward challenge where Tom wins the reward. He wins a deep sea fishing trip, and he chooses to share it with Lex and Jenna Lewis. Okay. And now we get to the moment we are finally awaiting. That is the merge. Shaboga Mogo is now the merge tribe. And with that, we have our immunity challenge where Colby and Cheyenne are going to win immunity there, which I'm not too surprised. I mean, this is the breath holding contest. Okay, that is something. So yeah, I mean, so we're getting this now, and we're now going to go back to camp. See if this will load. Okay. So on our new tribes, we see Amber and Rupert finding something in common. So that again gives Rupert another potential option. Lex is impressing the rest of the team. We now have a new alliance consisting of Amber, Lex, Rupert, and Tina. Amber rests at camp to restore her energy. But let's get to the target. So we see Lex targeting Jenna Lewis, not too surprising. Amber and Tom are going after Jenna Maraska. Rupert and Tina going after Jenna Lewis. Lex and Tom are also going after Jenna Lewis, and the new alliance, is going after Jenna Lewis as well. So it seems like the targets are between Jenna Maraska, Jenna Lewis, and Tom. Although I feel like Jenna Lewis is probably the boot here based on the alignments. So yeah, it's time to get to the votes. And first vote is for Jenna Maraska. Have Jenna Lewis, 1 vote each. Jenna Lewis, 2 to 1. Jenna Lewis, 3 to 1. Jenna Lewis, 4 to 1. Jenna Maraska, that's 4 to 2. Oh, I think one more vote will do it. I think. Yeah. And the 10th person voted out of Survivor All Stars, and the first member of our jury is none other than Jenna Lewis. But I can't say I'm too surprised. I mean, it seems like a lot of the tribe was going after her. Like, as you can see from the vote here, we see Colby, Jenna Maraska, Lex, Rupert, Sheehan, and Tina, and Tom all vote. So wow, this was a 7-2 vote here, with only Amber voting to save Jenna Lewis. So that's probably not a good sign for Amber. And with now we are at the final 8. As you can see, we still have Amber and Tom running strong here. We have Rupert and Tina also still running strong. We have Lex and Tom going strong as well. And we have our new alliance of Amber, Lex, Rupert, and Tina, which Amber kind of went against, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, usually this is around the point where I start to get a bit more streamlined things, but let's just go through it. Tina and Rupert still have their unbreakable bond. Colby is really gravitating towards Lex at this point. Tom and Lex also have a very strong bond. Jenna and Colby don't like each other. Shannon and Colby don't like each other. Rupert and Amber like each other a bit. We have Tom and Amber liking each other a bit. We have Sheehan and Lex not liking each other. We have Lex and Amber liking each other a bit. And we have Lex having a small bond towards Colby. All right. We get to our reward challenge, which is won by Amber, Colby, Lex, and Tina. They win rain parkas, letters from home, and can compete for individual immunity, which is interesting. And then Colby wins his second immunity in a row. He also wins a letter from home. Colby can give up his video so everyone can receive their letters. And, he does the strategic thing, gives up the video. Okay. Back at camp, Tina is impressing the rest of the team. And then Lex leaves the alliance for some reason, probably to get closer to Tom, I guess. Rupert works hard at camp and becomes tired. Okay. And now we get to our targets here, where Tina is targeting Sheehan. Tom is targeting Jenna. Amber and Tom are targeting Sheehan. Rupert and Tina are targeting Sheehan as well. Lex and Tom are targeting Sheehan. And then Amber, Rupert, and Tina are all also targeting Sheehan. So again, it looks like the targets are between Sheehan and Jenna, but it looks like Sheehan probably has the numbers to go. Colby has the immunity necklace once again, and it is time to vote, where the votes are between Sheehan, so one vote Sheehan, Jenna, one vote each. Sheehan, that's 2-1. Sheehan, that is 3-1. And that is 4-1. And the 11th person voted out of All Stars, and the second member of our jury is none other than Sheehan, which I'm not too surprised again. Again, seems like another unanimous vote, which is sort of weird because Amber was sort of the one in the out to the last vote, probably just more as a pet project to keep Jenna Lewis in the game. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty straightforward vote as well, which admittedly, this hasn't been the funnest season in the world. I mean, it seems like a pretty straightforward vote for a lot of the season. But now we get to the final 7. Okay. And again, we have our usual relationships here. Hopefully a flip will happen soon. As you can see, Lex now has an unbreakable bond towards Colby. Tom and Lex have a very strong bond, so it seems like Lex seems to be in a power position for the time being. Doesn't seem like too many people dislike each other. I mean, Rupert and Lex dislike each other, I guess, but there's that. With Amber winning reward, she wins an overnight spa and swimsuits from her luggage, which is something. And then Colby wins his third straight immunity. This is the When It Rains It Pours immunity challenge that Cheyenne won in the actual show. Yeah, I just took a drink of water. Back at camp, Jenna and Lex have a major fight, and then Colby is targeting Jenna, which makes sense. Lex is targeting Rupert, probably seeing him as a big threat and also someone that Rupert doesn't like. Amber and Tom are targeting Jenna. Rupert and Tina are targeting Lex. Lex and Tom are targeting Jenna for some reason. And then Amber, Rupert, and Tina are targeting Jenna as well. So it seems like the votes will come down to either Lex, Tom, and Jenna, which I don't know. I feel like Lex might be making a mistake here, like by staying away from like the duo of Rupert and Tina. I feel like this would be a prime opportunity to take a shot there. But let's see what happens. So, time to read the votes. First vote is for Jenna. Tom, one vote each. Lex, so it's 1 to 1 to 1. Lex, that's 2 to 1 to 1. Jenna, that is 2 to 2 to 1. Jenna, that is 3 to 2 to 1. One vote left. And the 12th person voted out, and the third member of our jury is Jenna. So it looks like both Jennas went out relatively quick succession here. And if we look at the votes, we see that Amber, Colby, Lex, and Tom all voted for they voted for Jenna, while Rupert, Tina, and Jenna all voted for Tom, so or not for Jenna, I should say. So all right. We are now at the final six. So, like I said, we have our usual alliances at this point where getting rid of Jenna probably wasn't something that advanced the ball too much. I feel like this round hopefully will lead to some intrigue here. Unless Colby doesn't win immunity, then they could just vote out Colby for being a physical threat. Amber wins a reward again, so Amber has proven herself as being this comp beast, at least for awards, and she shares the reward with Rupert. Um, no, this is the loved one visit. For some reason, I thought it was the car reward, where I remember that confessional of Rupert complaining about Amber winning a car despite despite Rob winning the challenge. Like they both got a car, which is like something, and then Rupert had a confessional about it, which is something. As you can see, Rupert does win immunity, so with that, Colby's streak is now over. Back at camp, Lex and Tina have a small fight. Rupert's impressing the rest of the team, and now we get to our targets where Colby is targeting Amber, Rupert is targeting Lex, and Amber is targeting Colby. We have Amber and Tom going after Colby. We have Rupert and Tina going after Lex, probably to break up that duo. Lex and Tom are going after Colby for some reason. It's so dumb. Like, why is Lex getting rid of Colby? Which makes no sense. So, but I guess when it's a survival situation between Lex and Colby, I mean, it kind of makes sense. But then again, why don't you just pick another target? So with that, we get to our tribal now, and it's time to read the vote. So it looks like either Lex or Colby will be going home. So first vote is for Amber. Colby, that's one vote. 1 to 1 to 1. Tina, that's 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. All right, this could be interesting. Lex, that is 2 to 1 to 1 to 1. Yeah, that's right. Number ones. And then the last vote is for Colby. So we are now tied 2 to 2 to 1 to 1. Very interesting vote breakdown there. So first vote on the revote is for Colby. Colby. And then the 13th person voted out is Colby. Okay, so probably makes sense. I mean, like he was winning a lot of challenges, and they probably saw him as a big threat. Probably one of the few times that they could get him out. Let's look at the votes here. We see that Amber and Tom voted for Colby, while Tina and Rupert flipped their votes after they realized they couldn't get out Lex. Okay, so Lex voted for Tina, which I'm not sure what the situation here was because Lex was still eligible to be voted out on the revote, and they just sort of just change their minds. I don't know, probably to play it safe. But now we now get to the final five. Not too much to say about here. I mean, Colby's out of the game now, but Lex still has pretty good relationships. He has a good relationship with Amber, but Rupert is obviously a thorn in his side. I feel like Amber is pretty well connected as well, so that's something. You see Amber winning reward again, which is kind of ridiculous. It's sort of insane that she hasn't won any immunities, but she has won the car challenge that I just mentioned, and she chose to share it with Tina, which is interesting. We now get to the immunity where she finally translates that reward challenge ability to immunities. Okay. Back at camp, Rupert's targeting Lex. Lex is targeting Rupert. Amber and Tom are going after Rupert. Makes sense. Rupert and Tina are going after Lex. Lex and Tom are going after Rupert. Lex. So it looks like Rupert, Tom, or Lex are the targets here. At the tribal, we see Amber having immunity. Time to read the votes. First vote is for Rupert, Lex, 1 vote each. Lex 2-1. Rupert 2-2, 1 vote left. The 14th person voted out of Survivor All Stars, and the 5th member of our jury is none other than Lex. Okay. Let's see the votes though. So Amber flipped on him. Tina flipped. All right, so that makes sense. So that alone probably does it. But Tom was there with him. Makes sense. And Tom seems like he's on the outs now. He seems like he's gonna have to win out, despite his relationship with Amber. But who knows? This could be interesting. But there's that. All depends on who wins immunity. So there's that. And we see Tina winning immunity, which probably means Tom is gonna go home. Tom is completely worn out, but is not giving up. Tom is medically evacuated from the game due to an injury. So that right there is the first medevac in this series. 8 seasons. It took us that long to get a medevac, and it was someone who's gonna go home anyway. All right, so that's a bit anticlimactic, but with that, we now get to the final three, where Amber has to win, probably has to win immunity. Rupert seems the most likely to get to the end. I don't know if he'll actually win, but actually, no, he could win. Yeah, so it really, like I said, it all depends on who wins immunity here. Amber wins immunity, which she absolutely needed. And she's probably going to vote out Tina here, probably going to take Rupert to the end. Whoa, Tina's completely worn out, and she could have been in trouble there. Um, okay. So, like I said, I think Amber's going to vote out Tina and go to the end with Rupert. Oh, really? She voted out Rupert. Oh, probably saw him as a big threat. Probably interesting. Wow. All right, so now we are getting to an Amber versus Tina final two. The two, how fitting it's the two Australian Outback people that won the game. And who knows? I mean, is Tina going to be the first two-time winner in Survivor history? Guess we'll see. So, the first vote is for Tina. Second vote is for Amber. Tina. Amber. Tina. And look at that. Tina is now a two-time winner. Well, technically not in this series, as again, she didn't win Australian Outback in the version I did, but like if we're assuming that the alternative history starts with this season, then she is a two-time winner. So there's that. Colby voted for Tina. Jenna Lewis voted for Tina. Jenna voted for Amber. Lex voted for Amber. But then everyone else voted for Tina. But good on Tina. She was she and one fan favorite. So that's something. But yeah, Tina Wesson, winner of Australian Outback, first boot of the actual All Stars, and now she's a two-time winner of the season in which she was the first boot. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting outlay here. I mean, as you can see, Amber and Rupert still got to the final four. Amber still got to the final two. Tom made it slightly farther. He still got to the final five, which is something. Colby made a relatively deep run. Jenna Maraska made a relatively deep run. Um, and then Boston Rob was a very early boot, so that's something. And so yeah, I mean that's interesting. Let's look at the stats. So Amber won the most challenges over the course of the season. She won 6. But in terms of immunities, she only won 2 immunities, while Colby won 3 immunities. So there's that. Most strategic was Tina, Lex, and Jenna Maraska. So okay, there's that. Okay. But yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I know it's been a while since I've done one of these Brantsteeles, and again, we're still like in this really like busy period of shows coming out, so like I'm probably going to hold off a bit until things slow down before we move on to Vanuatu. But it's just been so long since I've done one of these, and I didn't want like this to go on too long without a new one. So I just decided to just go out and make this. Like I hope it's something at least. Again, I haven't decided whether to release this tomorrow on Thursday or wait until Tuesday. I guess I'll just make wait and see what I'm feeling. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. If you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming. Like I said, still a lot of power rankings to do, still a lot of shows to cover, especially now with Survivor starting, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, I mean, the power ranking will be coming out soon for that, so stay tuned for that. But for now, that is the video. See ya.